You walk into a restaurant simply because there's a massive line outside, even though the place next door is spacious and smells amazing. You are waiting at a red light at an empty intersection. One person steps off the curb to jaywalk, then two people step down, and your legs automatically follow without a single thought. In a company meeting, your boss pitches an absurd idea. All your colleagues nod in praise. When it's your turn, even though your brain is screaming, "This idea is absolute garbage," your mouth automatically blurts out, "I completely agree." You think you are an autonomous individual equipped with critical thinking, mastering every decision in your life. You are wrong. The brutal truth is, in almost every moment of your life, you are not thinking, you are just copying. You are an obedient sheep deluding itself into thinking it's the alpha wolf. In behavioral psychology, this phenomenon is called conformity. This is not moral cowardice, it is a primal survival mechanism encoded deep within your DNA. Hundreds of thousands of years ago, our ancestors lived on harsh savannas. The law of survival back then was incredibly simple. Belonging to the crowd meant being protected, sharing food, and surviving. Being ostracized by the crowd, isolated from the herd, was a death sentence in the face of wild predators. Today, the wild beasts are gone, but your brain hasn't had the time to evolve. When you are about to voice a dissenting opinion or do something different from the crowd, the amygdala in your brain instantly sounds the alarm. It releases the stress hormone cortisol, making you sweat, your heart race, and inducing sheer terror. Your brain warns you, "Don't be a rebel, you will die." To protect you from the pain of social rejection, the brain forces you to dissolve into the crowd. It uses consensus as an anesthetic to extinguish the resistance of your logic. If you still think, "I am different, I am smart enough not to follow the herd," then listen to the most chilling experiment in the history of psychology conducted by Solomon Asch in 1951. Asch placed one participant in a room with 7 other people. The participant had no idea that the other 7 were actors planted by Asch. Asch held up 2 cards. The first card had a single reference line drawn on it. The second card had 3 lines, A, B, and C, with clearly different lengths. He asked everyone to choose which line on the second card matched the reference line. The correct answer was glaringly obvious, B. A 3-year-old child could see it. But according to the script, the 7 actors took turns intentionally giving the wrong answer in unison, saying, "It's C." Then it was the real participant's turn. He sweated, glanced at the people around him, and looked back at the card. His eyes clearly saw B, but the crowd said C. The result? A staggering 75% of the participants betrayed their own eyes to choose the completely wrong answer, C, just so they wouldn't be the outcast in that room. But the most terrifying part doesn't stop there. In 2005, neuroscientist Gregory Burns put this experiment inside an MRI scanner to see what the brain actually does when we conform to the majority. The brain scans shocked the scientific community. When humans go along with the crowd, the area of the brain responsible for logical thinking shuts down entirely. Instead, the area responsible for vision lights up. What does this mean? It means the crowd doesn't just force you to lie. The pressure of the crowd literally bends your reality, making your eyes actually see line C as equal to the reference line. You weren't coerced, your cognitive operating system was hacked. We are living in an era where herd mentality is amplified millions of times over through social media, through algorithms that manipulate likes and trends. So how do you stop being a sheep and take back control of your brain? Here are 3 emergency psychological detox techniques. First, the power of the single dissenter. Solomon Asch found a loophole in his experiment. If, among that crowd of 7, just one single person gave the correct answer, or even a different wrong answer, the participants' blind conformity dropped from 75% to a mere 5%. You don't need the whole world to support you. You just need to find one ally, or be brave enough to be the first rebel. When you voice a dissenting opinion, you directly liberate those around you who are silently living in fear. Second, the 10-second reality isolation rule. When you are about to make a purchasing decision, an investment, or enter an argument and you see the crowd screaming around you, use the isolation technique. Close your eyes for 10 seconds and ask yourself, if I were alone on a deserted island with no one watching, no one judging, no one applauding, would I still make this choice? If the answer is no, you are being manipulated. Walk away immediately. Third, embrace the discomfort. You must train yourself to get used to the nauseating, restless feeling of going against the current. Treat the anxiety of being judged by the crowd as a positive physiological sign. It proves that your prefrontal cortex, your center for high-level logical thinking, is wresting back control from your animal instincts. The crowd gives you a warm feeling of safety and an illusion of power, but the price of that safety is the complete erasure of your individual identity. The crowd has no face, no accountability, and certainly no brain. Friedrich Nietzsche once said, "The individual has always had to struggle to keep from being overwhelmed by the tribe." The hardest battle isn't against the enemies out there, but against the burning desire to nod along in agreement with them just to buy a fake sense of peace. You only truly have free will when you realize how obedient of a prisoner you have always been. Wake up or continue being herded. The choice is yours.